So, what's the deal with Donald Trump and, wait for it, Brazil? Now, we all know that Trump isn't just picking fights at home. He's slapping tariffs at nations left, right, and center. So, what's different about the tariffs on Brazil? Well, the whopping 50% tariffs on Brazil aren't just about coffee, beef, and timber, but more about politics, power play, and a bit of good old fashioned Trump showmanship. So let's buckle up, let's decode Trump's Brazil barrage and ask, is this really about trade? First up, the headline. Trump on Wednesday announced a flat 50% tariff on certain Brazilian imports. Now, Brazil is the world's largest exporter of beef, iron ore, and all kinds of agri-goodies that the US loves. But Trump says, and I quote, Brazil is unfairly flooding our markets and hurting our American workers. That's classic Trump, America first, and foreign trade, well, that's the villain. Brazilian President Lula da Silva is angry, of course. He has vowed reciprocation in kind, 50% tariffs on US goods, etc., etc. But hold up. Why Brazil in the first place? Trump has historically reserved his tariff ire for countries with which the United States runs a negative trade balance. Brazil is not one of them. The US ran a $6.8 billion trade surplus with Brazil last year, which meaning it exports more goods to Brazil than it imports from there. In the MAGA handbook, that should be good, right? Well, here's the twist. It's not just an economic squabble. Lula and Trump are not exactly besties. Lula is leftist, climate friendly, has openly backed Joe Biden's climate policies. He's even called Trump's election denial a threat to democracy. So what better foreign enemy for Trump to bash than a socialist sounding leader with green credentials? The other big difference between the tariff letter sent to the Brazilian president versus the other 12 countries that Trump sent off letters to is that Trump tried to portray the new tariff as retaliation for the legal cases faced by former Brazil President Jair Bolsonaro. And here's where it gets juicy. In his letter to Lula, posted on Truth Social, Trump accused Lula of a witch hunt against Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro is often called the Trump of the tropics and is on trial in Brazil for charges related to an alleged plot to overturn the 2022 election results. Bolsonaro denies the allegations. Sounds familiar? Well, it should. For many, it is seen as a Brazilian version of the attacks on the US Capitol building by Trump's supporters 2 years before. So Trump is trying to settle a political score by batting for Bolsonaro and putting Lula down. Bolsonaro supporters have in fact been asking for some kind of Trump support for months. His son, Eduardo, even took a leave of absence from Brazil's Congress, where he serves as a representative, and moved to the US. He's a regular at Mar-a-Lago, where he has tried to rally support from his father from Trump's inner circle. Now, many expected Trump to offer some kind of support for Bolsonaro, but not of this magnitude. Trump's letter to Lula is being seen as a powerful endorsement for Bolsonaro, who wants to run for president again, despite, of course, being banned from doing so until 2030 by the country's top electoral court. It appears now that Bolsonaro has a political proximity to Trump that most Brazilian or Latin American politicians can only dream of. There's another layer to this, geopolitics. It didn't help that the BRICS summit was held in Brazil at a time when many in the US have been portraying it as an anti-Western bloc. Now, when BRICS nations met in Rio de Janeiro, they spoke out against Trump's indiscriminate tariff hikes. Lula went on record to defend the sovereign nature of BRICS governments, insisting we do not want an emperor, he said. It was an obvious reference to Trump. Now, many see Trump's Brazil tariff tantrums as a direct warning shot to Lula on this. So, is Trump's Brazil tariff really about beef and iron? Sure, partly, but mostly it's about poking Lula, batting for friend Bolsonaro, flexing muscle in America's backyard, and of course, a bit of political theatre, Trump style. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more global drama, unpacked minus the jargon. Until next time, keep questioning the headlines.